you guys doing? You're going to do a
Oh,
podcast right now with
yeah.
you two?
Well, we're going to go live, though. So here, I'm going to mute you for a second here, Richard, but hang on the line with us. Oh, I think we're live now. I've got to figure out how this works down here, but
working the bugs out.
We're working the bugs out, but here, let's give this a shot. I'm going to start recording, and here we are. All right, so this is actually our second podcast, or our second episode of the Preferred Success Society, and I literally grabbed Justin out of the hallway and forced him to become a guest, or whatever, as we're putting the podcast together. But actually right now, we're just live streaming on, I guess like Facebook, and looks like we're live up on, let's see, if we look over here, this is all kind of cool for us. We're using new technology, different things, but we've got some people on Facebook. It looks like then YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, slowly getting up on all of those. We're trying to do some multi-streaming today too. We're also recording this, and what's super cool is we also have our receptionist, Richard. Richard, are you still on the phone?
I am.
Oh man, that's so cool. So we were testing out whether or not we could have telephone in guests, while we got some people live. And Justin, since this was a completely impromptu podcast, so the podcast,
those are the best kind, by the way.
Just screwing people over with spontaneity here today.
Carnival barked me in. He's like, "Come on in here.
Come on in here." So we're recording this, and I will certainly put it out as a podcast as well. But it's more or less to test some equipment, and I didn't want to put Justin too much on the spot, but
he did, really.
But I did. Which we can, like with different sound effects and things like that, we can give Justin, testing things out again, testing. But aside from that, I do want to ask you a really easy, genuine question, but that is, do you have like even a micro failure and or a larger failure in the last however many years of your life? You're a very successful person. On this first initial podcast, I'm not going to go in all crazy as far as to Justin's entire background or anything else, because I'll probably have him on as an official guest at some point. Looks like, do we have Belgium coming to us? So Julie Courtois in Brussels, Waterloo, Belgium, watching us live right now. That's always so cool. And I'm going to try and type back because I don't know how this really works. I want to see on multi-stream if she gets my message. So just trying a bunch of things out. So thanks for those of us that are being patient and just kind of hanging out, seeing what we're doing here. So back to my question. Do you have, some sort of failure or a micro failure or anything else turn into something really cool for you?
Well, certainly many failures. Obviously, I'm human at the end of the day.
You screw up?
Yeah. I think what's coming to mind right now, again, this is totally off the cuff, wasn't anticipating this today, but the difficulty with, I think a lot of high performers have it as well, of the inability to say no.
Yeah.
I think my first at least 8 months, maybe even year in the real estate business, I was out there. I was kind of that hungry dog that was just chasing down any kind of business that was out there. And it takes a while to feel like, you provide enough value in the transaction to provide that to your client. And so some of taking on like
too much
for one, absolutely. In particular, like geographical areas that were far beyond where I should have potentially been practicing.
Well, I think you're hitting on an enormously cool topic, which, hey, we did this off the cuff and we didn't know what the topic was going to be, but here's the topic, and that is, are you a yes person? Are you a yes man, as they say in the past? And Justin is. and so am I, for that matter. And it's actually, God dang, one of the coolest, most solid issues you could have brought up. It puts successful people in a bad spot sometimes. Their ambition can actually hurt them more than it can help them because of their inability to say no. And so I thank you so much. I mean, that's what I wanted from today. Podcasts are supposed to enlighten other people through other people's experiences. But when would you say, and if you can't think of one right off the top of your head, that's fine. When you didn't say no when you should have, you said yes that one too many times. What's been the most painful thing that's happened to you because you said yes too many times? I mean, where are you feeling that pain the most?
Yeah, that's an apt question. I think obviously free time is what tends to suffer the most when you don't set clear boundaries. And in the real estate industry, the boundaries are always blurred. So you teach people
business owners, it's blurred.
Sure,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any small business owner is you're wearing all of the hats. You're physically turning the levers. I mean, you're doing everything. If it's not you, it's potentially not being done.
Right.
So probably the most, the biggest sacrifice has been in personal time for myself or time to be connected with my wife and kids.
Sure.
But, those are some of the trade-offs, and that's a portion of, it's a choice. It's absolutely a choice. And so it took a number of years of doing this to be able to be intentional and cultivate that ability to, it's not necessarily that the answer is no, but it's maybe it's not going to happen this second.
And being much more conscious of what you're saying yes to then.
Absolutely.
Because that's what I'm picking out of what you're saying. Like, just for everybody that's listening and everybody out there, it's not as easy as what we're saying it to be right now. For I know it's not for myself, and certainly probably not for you either. So, and I don't necessarily want to drag you down into a bad place where you were with that, but
we're going down the rat hole.
Yeah, but from that standpoint, personally, and I know people just like you, that's who suffers first, is ourselves. We skip that one. So for those of you listening and watching, like, you always skip yourself, and that's actually the person that I think is the one who screws up the whole process the most, right? It's the whole oxygen, put your mask on first theory that we talk about so much. If you're not taking care of yourself and you say yes too many times, obviously your friends, family, and those you want to be around are going to start to suffer. And that's all on you. There's a lot of talk right now, both from leaders in our industry, but certainly just business in general. They're saying yes to too many things, and therefore they're not doing a good job at home. They're not doing a good job with their relationships, period, whatever. So we're going to wrap up our short, quick little podcast here. I honestly, Justin, I can't thank you enough for doing this. He did not know that was just going to happen. Hell, I didn't even know it was just going to happen, but we decided to just go live and just do it and go from there. So I hope everyone has a wonderful Friday. Before we take off, I know I got Richard Holden on the line yet, our amazing executive administrator at RE/MAX Preferred here in Monona, Wisconsin, and we have one little small event to promote here before we get off the line, and that is this Saturday. We're doing a little euchre tournament here locally to raise some money for an amazing veterans program on behalf of Veterans Day, which is on Monday. Myself being a combat veteran, I picked one small organization called the Circle of Change Veterans Dog Training Program. It's super cool. You can check it out on Facebook or online. It's called Circle of Change Veterans Dog Program. It's in Illinois and Wisconsin right now, and hopefully growing as we continue to raise them money. They're doing a really cool thing. They're not providing service dogs for veterans. They're actually providing a training environment for veterans to come in and work with dogs and work with some of their obvious disabilities and even things like that to help with PTSD and other emotional and mental anguish, that veterans and warriors suffer from. And man, our dogs are an easy fix to just about anything. So that's pretty cool. Richard, what's the website again? People can go to check that. Is it for remaxhugs.com? Yeah. I don't know. We might have lost Richard on the phone. We tried hard there. In any event, everyone have a great weekend. Think about all your veterans in your life. Veterans Day is actually for all of us veterans that are still alive. A lot of people get that screwed up. They don't know what Memorial Day, and I get a lot of happy Memorial Days on Memorial Day, and I don't ever correct anybody. That's an amazing thing to have somebody think about you and care about you. But yeah, Veterans Day is for the ones that are still alive. Memorial Day are for the ones that have passed and left us. So hope everybody has a great weekend and a good Veterans Day. If you're with any vets, celebrate it and celebrate the fact that they're here and they're home. And if they're not, let's all keep them in our thoughts and prayers and things like that. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for your service.
Hey,
Yep.
for sure. Thank you all for your service and have a good day. I don't know how to cut this off, so I guess I'm gonna. Oh, I got to do an outro. I'm sorry. This is a podcast. So
professional.
Yeah, you got to have like little music and stuff,
right.
and whatnot. But so yeah. Hey, thanks for joining us on an episode of the Preferred Success Society. My guest has been the one and the only Justin Whitkins. You can find out more about Justin at whitkinsrealty.com. If you're from the area and looking for a real estate professional, check him out. And as always, tune in next time. You can find us at preferredsuccesssociety.com. Take care. Have a great day.
Have a great day. See you.